Hey folks, welcome back to Medieval Minecraft Creations with Mad Rabbit. Yeah, I decided to get away from towers and whatnot, and I do plan on fixing the towers on this wall and doing some more work in the plaza here as we were doing past several episodes. But I did make mention, I think last episode, about my ideas for perhaps doing like a district that has both maybe like a poor district with slums and a district with kind of like rich houses, like a wealthy person's district. Some within this, because as you can see, I mean, we have a lot of these areas are divided up. So it's sort of a grid, and we don't have much in some of these grids. I mean, this one here is the mage one, and the next one over in the corner has nothing in it at all, like nothing. And then this grid here in the middle obviously is the main keep, and then this one here we have those stylized houses that I kind of called, like, they had a higher pitch roof, and I called the Viking longhouses. So I figured, well, let's do a few smaller type homes that actually look maybe similar style to some of the stuff we've been doing, but perhaps a little simpler and a little more rustic looking. They might, I mean, some of these things these two here, these are just a start for what I'm thinking of. Um, I really want to keep the houses small and simple. It's not really about the interior, as you can tell, or the materials it's made out of even. It doesn't look really great from a design point of view. I mean, probably people are going, well, I could have done that, but yeah, these are simple houses because they are for the poor district. So I'm deciding to restrict myself to certain types of materials. Now I'm using a darker wood just to kind of get away from the lighter standard wood. I'm hoping in the future that we will perhaps maybe experiment with texture packs again, and maybe I'll make some new block types or something that'll make it look more worn down, the wood. But that's sort of what I wanted to talk about this episode. This is going to be more of a talky episode. um, I think talking about the project I've been talking about in the past couple of episodes. So if you haven't really watched the past 4 or 5 episodes, I always at the beginning and the end of these videos have a link to the playlist. And this is season 2, so we're really just starting out on the second season. I have a lot of tutorials in this season already, as well as in season 1. So yeah, obviously if you're new, you can always go back and check a lot of these old tutorials. Some of the buildings are really big, complex. So yeah, you know, I can do decent sized stuff, interesting stuff from a design point of view. But yeah, so this might not go over well with people, but it's a necessary part of the overall design of this place. If you have half brain cell, you'd probably agree. We gotta have to have districts that maybe just have different things in them. And as I said, for the Project Esper thing that I'm working on, we want stuff of different architectural styles that maybe concentrate on certain colorations. Like in this case, we're concentrating on just dark wood and some cobble to trim it, and maybe a little bit of wood like this. So really the design of these two is exactly the same. I think it might better be illustrated with this one. I typically, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 by 9s. They're both 5 by 9s. And what I basically did was this little thing sticking off the edge was basically I just moved it, and that's how I'm going to make all of them. And same thing with the fireplace. All I did was basically move it. I had slightly different design for each one, but it's basically not all that complex. You just make like a rectangle and just go up with it, and you put some, some stair ones in, and that's about it. And if you want, you can kind of do what I did with some of these other ones and put cobwebs up for fake, fake smoke or whatever. So you want these to look kind of rustic anyway. But you can always change up, like let's say your district, you don't want dark wood and cobble. You could do it with two other types of things or whatever. Or maybe use a darker wood on the corners, or the lighter wood color for these things, or whatever. You can do whatever. I mean, I've been thinking a lot about texture packs lately, and because there has been a couple really recent releases for like new releases for the weekly builds that Minecraft is doing, so that's why you get updates every so often. They're adding more blocks, and that's sort of what I've been hinting at for a long time now, not being very satisfied with how things have been going here with Mojang's development of this. I've been hoping for more stuff, and they're finally starting to add stuff in. And the big thing with this one is they're doing some changes here with how the texture packs are done. Instead of just having one, I guess maybe this doesn't apply for some people who don't really pay much attention to it, but I've made texture packs for this. This has got custom textures, basically using unused textures, and I'm kind of covering over. This used to be the red brick, and I made it white instead because I don't use the red brick that much. But I do use the red brick a little bit in a couple spots, like as you'll see over in that grain silo. So I copied that onto like an ore block, because ores from a design point of view don't really interest me. So I was using some of the ore blocks, and some of these other blocks, like let's say the sponge block. You're not going to be making too many buildings with that sponge texture to it. Just it's an ugly texture. So maybe I will someday go back and change the texture. But I've been thinking for a while now. I got a huge list of things I want to do, making my own textures, because I'm looking at a lot of pictures of MMOs, massively online games, and I play some. I have at least several videos up of World of Warcraft. I was looking at some of Warhammer Online, and I'm thinking I really like their architectural style in that. So I may possibly in the future try and make some more buildings that have that sort of a look to it, and that's sort of what this was. I was looking at a couple of shacks, and it was basically dark wood like this, and the roofing was dark, and it didn't really have any trim to it at all. I mean, it just had like some planks, but because the texture pack is 8-bit in default Minecraft, it's a little difficult to get a lot of detail out of things when it's only 8-bit. So I'm thinking for this project Esper, if I'm going to make a texture pack, and I am, before I start working on any buildings for it, I will use some of the buildings from this build, but it'll have its own texture pack. So what I'll do when I do that is I'm most likely going to what am I trying to say? Determine beforehand what I'm going to have for it. It's basically what I'm saying. I want it before I even start the buildings. I say I want lots of different types of decorative blocks, and lots of different types of decorative this or that. That kind of goes together with this. And they're going to be making, so let me announce some of the blocks that are coming out with, at least in this next expansion. The next expansion 1.5, or maybe it's just the next patch is 1.5. Going to be called the Redstone expansion. But they're going to have something in the nether where you actually mine something called nether quartz or quartz when you're in the nether. And you can make blocks out of it, and stairs and slabs. And the thing is, it basically looks like white marble. So I may not, for this new world, I may not need to change my brick. I might just use whatever in-game texture they have for it, and then maybe I'll just alter the brick one a little better. But I'm also looking for is I'm hoping to take maybe someone's higher resolution texture pack. This I'm going one notch up for this world, probably the 16 bits. And you know I've used John Smith texture pack before. I'm thinking maybe as a starting off point I would use this John Smith one and then change some blocks to my liking. Now I've done that before, but there's certain textures in the John Smith one I don't like, and there's certain ones I do. So there's other ones out there that I may investigate and looking into, like the one called Dokucraft, and there's some other ones. I'm trying to remember some of the names. It's like an RPG one. I forgot the darn name of it now. I forgot, RPG Craft something. Yeah, I don't know. Well, whatever. So basically what I'm looking for, I'm trying to scout out new texture packs in which I can kind of build off of to make my own. So basically what I'm doing here is I'm using the same design element as what we're doing the other two, and this wasn't necessarily going to be a tutorial today, but I have a lot to talk about more than doing the tutorials. So yeah, bear with me here. So I do apologize for that. I'm just going to, you can make these dormer things, I don't know what you call them, these little side rooms, any size you want. In this case I'm going to make it same as that, but just on a different side. And I'm going to actually just not have it trimmed with the that stone. Yeah, sort of like that, and then this will go down. I keep getting a lot of that lately. Yeah, this is getting annoying. Alright, so yeah, that's basically it. Just fill this in here. Alright, I think what we'll do, it may not turn out right. I'm getting the feeling the more I look at this, most likely I will have to maybe make some adjustments on this. But who knows? Oops. Yeah, so the reason why you're not getting things for this project yet is because I keep waiting on Mojang to make new blocks, and with this one coming up, this update, even though it's being called the Redstone update, you're getting some new decorative blocks, which is really great. That's what I really want. They need more though. It's not, to me, it's not yet complete. Oops. They need more. There is going to be a redstone block itself. That's going to be a nice decorative one. I probably will use that in some capacity. What we shall see. Maybe I'll alter that that texture pack a little. The texture for that a little bit. See, now it's starting to get a little convoluted looking on the inside. And maybe we'll go up with this. I'm experimenting today on a different design for trying to go a different direction with the roof, but I think I have an idea here for topping it off. I think this will be the last row, and then we're just going to top it off with a flat top instead, because I don't actually want this to be too high pitched. So what we'll do is we're just going to make a roof on it like this. Just like that, and there's the house. So I'm building a lot of this because of I want to have a series of houses that are of different shapes, sizes, and composition. And what we'll do, I'll scatter several copies of these throughout this whole district here. So I may make eventually 7 or 8 of these types off air, most likely. And yeah, that's probably where I'll end up going with this. I may end up, I could always put, where do I want? I could put that in a chimney or just not have one. Let's put a chimney in right here. Oops. We'll get rid of this. Just to signify from the outside for me. And yeah, I just wanted to make this short episode today. I really wanted to talk about this texture packs. I am actually starting to get a little more excited again about Minecraft as a result of this. Mainly because when I saw that that update, I'm like thinking to myself, maybe Mojang isn't going to disappoint me in the long run. It's just going to take a long time to develop all this stuff. Which begs the question, why did they even officially release the game? Why didn't you just wait and said it's still in beta for the next 12 years until we get everything in it that we want in it? But either way, yeah, okay, that's good. I guess I'll just live with it as is. And hopefully that mod API stuff will, whenever that actually does get implemented, as I had told you before, that'll help with some things. Oh, and one thing you don't want to do in these houses, don't actually light a fire. Yeah, they will burn down. I learned that the hard way. It didn't burn down, but I caught it pretty quickly. But yeah, that's something you definitely don't want to do. And that's why I do the rule of 3, where you have 3, then you like your thing, and 3. So that's sort of why I put these in there, so that you can get the windows look decent. I guess that is really just about it. I mean, you can decorate the inside like I did with these other ones, with a sink, bed, you know, stoves. But I don't know if I'm going to decorate too many of them. But they're more for outside, for show from the outside, you got to remember. And this Project Esper is going to be a world. Basically, what you've seen me do over the past couple of years now, basically in this world, and even in the other world, where I had done some stuff in the old series, which was deleted, the old one from the old channel. At least for those that actually were around that long. I got a feeling there's really no one left from that era. But yeah, I suspect that that we probably have mostly new people that maybe come in the next past 6-8 months or something. That's fine though. I tend to alienate people quite easily. I don't really care to placate to people too much. That's sort of my thing. Yeah, but that's okay. Where was I going with this? I don't know. I guess I'm done with today's tutorial. Yeah. Yeah, so basically this is it. This is a modular system by which you can make houses, and you can go crazy with it, you know. Make flat roofs like this, or personally I think this looks better, but I just figured, let's make 1 or 2 like this. Might not look too bad. And yeah, I guess really what I'm doing now is just scouting out and waiting on Mojang again to release these updates. And oh yes, what I was talking about, the texture pack, they're changing the format. It's not going to be in one big image file anymore. I was talking about this at the beginning and I completely got sidetracked by what I was talking about. Yeah, so the texture packs and these at least these weekly updates that they're doing, that means it's going to be probably coming in 1.5. So if you are a texture pack maker or whatever, each individual texture in game will now be its own separate file, and that's a good thing and a bad. Well, it's a good thing, I'd say. And it's good. It's built into the game now. I don't know if it's in this past patch or upcoming patch, where you won't actually need MC Patcher or Optifine anymore. to get the high resolution textures to work in game. It's going to be built into the game. In fact, I think it already is. So you can actually use the 16, 32-bit, 64-bit, 128 bits in game, I think now. But I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's coming in the next one. Which is really a welcome change, because when I did the patcher, it messed up some of my other things before, so I sort of veered away from it, and I decided just to keep the default and just alter the default one a little bit. But yeah, that's gonna be good, because then when I'm making my texture pack, like for this one and the upcoming Esper one also, I will just be able to pick and choose different textures from different people's texture packs that are out there, and I can just alter them on my own. And when a new patch comes out, at least you'll have existing textures that you can use, and also it'll be much easier to basically update whenever there's a new patch out. All you'll have to do is just remake or make new, files for the new stuff. It's going to be way easier for those that do mod and whatnot. So that is it. I am rambling once again, folks. I'm not going to show you all the little details like I normally would, but you can put fences in and decorate stuff like this, and torches and doors. And I think next time, I don't know what I'm going to do next time. Like I said, I've changed it every time. I keep saying, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do something in there. And then I end up doing something completely different. So I'm not going to promise what I'm going to do next time. I'm just going to, whatever happens, happens. Maybe we'll make more of these. Maybe I'll show you this particular block when it's all done. Maybe I'll do the rich person's district and a few bigger houses. I just get sick of doing houses and towers all the time, because that's all I've been doing. And walls, well, walls can be a little boring too. So we'll come up with something, I'm sure. But I'll be back soon. All right, Mad Rabbit signing off, folks. Adios.